Hello everybody, welcome back to Hidden Harvest with Liz. Today I was just going to do a quick update video on a couple of odds and ends, so let's jump right into that. But first off, my name is Liz and I'm competing with my rooster in Middle Georgia. We are zone 8A/B, we're right there on the line, but these are not perennials we're talking about. These are going to be annuals, so that really doesn't matter. But we have passed our last frost date, and our nights are now in the 60s. So let's get to talking about some stuff and things that have recently gone in the ground. First things first, all of my seedlings that I have already chosen are out in my yard. They are already in the garden. But because I had so many tomatoes and so many replants, there was something I had to do. A quick explanation for those of you who haven't watched a previous video of mine. I had a couple of replantings during the winter time. My crops didn't take off properly. Some of my crops didn't take off properly when I first tried to seed them during the winter time. And I thought I was growing a whole bunch of peppers, and they turned out to be some random tomato from my first planting, and I have no idea what they were. So I thought long and hard about what I was going to do with those tomatoes because I couldn't gift them to anybody else. I had no idea what kind they were. They could have been indeterminate, they could have been indeterminate, they could have been a slicer, they could have been a cherry. I have no idea what they were before I tried to grow the peppers into those containers. So rather than just composting them, I decided to create a Hunger Games style arena for these tomatoes to attempt to survive and attempt to produce. Let's go check that out. Here is our arena. For those of you who've been here since the beginning, you know that I had a garden that was right here. This was my original garden area. The fence has been taken down and the area has been enlarged basically for the orchard. So from where my garden was previous years, because this is where I had my previous garden, there was a white fence right here, and this is where my garden was, and this is my orchard over here. I have taken down this one. Eventually this fence is actually going to come down too and go across here. And this is where my regular garden is. Driveway side garden, driveway, orchard, leaf pile. This is actually where I usually collect all of my leaves in the fall. And I didn't do that this year because I wanted to move this, because it's like we're opening this area up and gonna make it to where it's easier to traverse with items like the water or the fertilizer or something like that, to go back and forth to work in the yard instead of having to go around to the fence. So this leaf pile is going to be moved. So I decided to take this leaf pile and turn it into my arena. And I have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 random tomatoes. And they are probably 6 inches apart, maybe 6 inches apart. I do not expect all of these to survive. I don't even expect half of these to survive. But if any of them happen to survive and put up tomatoes, we would have gotten some extra tomatoes, and it should be just interesting to find out what it is that we have got going on in here. And who knows? We might get something. Maybe, but if I had stuck them in the compost, I probably wouldn't have got anything. So there's that. Also, there's a couple of other odds and ends. I did go and get myself some more bell peppers from the garden center because mine did not produce. They became tomatoes. I have also got way more blooms on my potatoes. Still not seeing blooms over here. And over here are garlic scapes. So far it is just the elephant ears that are scaping. I don't see any anywhere else. Now the soft necks won't do this, but the hard necks should, and they're not doing it yet. So I give these guys maybe another month and they'll be ready to come out. My onions are starting to bulb. Got a little bit of a bulb going on here. A little bit of a bulb over here. So these guys are starting to bulb. And then the big thing coming up is all of these blooms over here on the blackberries and the raspberries, these guys are going to fruit out this year like a lot. I don't know what I'm going to do with this much fruit, but I can guarantee you I will figure it out. I love some blackberries. I haven't been blackberry picking since I was little. And then the raspberries are putting on as much of a show. Now these guys will have probably a late spring, early summer harvest. And then they should also produce during the fall time as well. That's what they did last year. That's just a guess though. I've never actually grown raspberries. And I never had the opportunity to go pick raspberries from other people's places. I just know that they also produced last year towards the fall time. So that's the other thing that we've got going on. And now time for our chicken update. Let's go over here and check out our chickens. You guys can see it better than I can see it on the screen. Right now it's the heat of the day, so most of them are inside just chilling. And I did just give them the food, so they're also over there doing their thing. Hi. Nosy. Ma'am. We have one just sitting here, just hanging out outside. One change that we did make to this setup is I added some cardboard to the top because I realized the face of this, the whole face of it, is towards our afternoon sun, which is really, really hot. So right over the door, they get some shade with these. Yesterday I came by and I added in some more lettuce and radishes. We've got some radishes that are coming up over there. I don't know if this bed will have any time to do anything for the rest of this season, but I figured one more attempt at trying to get some lettuce would not be a bad idea. But we're getting to where it's too hot to grow lettuce anyway. And I have already started harvesting lemon basil. I did some more yesterday, and it's already starting to grow back. This stuff is very prolific and very good as a tea. And another thing, these guys might have fully survived the transplant. They were looking very pitiful, and they still kind of look pitiful, but I haven't actually tried eating any of it because it didn't grow up during the winter time, so I'm wondering whether or not I can get a harvest off of this and try some recipes. And then I've got some turmeric right here next to my celery. From what I understand, they like hot ground, and it's not quite hot ground yet, so they won't come up just yet. But this area is going to be in the shade during the hottest time, and the bed will still get warm, so hopefully this will actually sprout. I did not pre-sprout them, so that might be a bit of a problem. I probably should have pre-sprouted before I planted, but we'll see. If we have to, I'll try again next year. And as I said before, I did go through and put the mulch in on all of the beds because it seems like it's going to be a little bit longer before I get the irrigation in, and the plants really couldn't wait. This is like the most gorgeous snapdragon ever. This one and this one. These are the most beautiful ones. And like I said, I got some more bells yesterday. They went into this bed, which is number 4. And it was a 6-pack for $5 and something. And one of them actually had an extra one. So I got 7 bell peppers planted in here, which is really nice because we need lots of bell peppers. I think now is a great time to see whether or not we have any strawberries that have ripened up in the last couple of hours. I don't see any. There's some that are very, very close. That one could probably come out this evening. There's a lot of them in here, but I think next year I want to try and grow these in a green stock. They are having some serious issues, getting a lot of bug damage and other damage just because they're on top of the wood chips, which I know most people put theirs in straw, but this is what I had. So, yeah. It's not the best growing medium, but they're working. But I think I will move these over to a green stock soon. And this is yet another snapdragon. I finally got the color for this one written down. And another note, these guys did in fact survive. I just went through and weeded it, and they have fully grown up. And my other snapdragon over here is a white one. So I was actually wondering what color these were. I could not remember from last year, but now I remember, and I have written them down into my gardening journal. We also have the tiniest handful of blueberries that may or may not come up this year. We'll see. They may or may not. Chances are a bird will get those before I do. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is basically all of the updates I have for this week on the garden. We will probably be doing another tour next week, so I will see you guys then. You have a wonderful day overnight and you stay shiny. Bye!